What's up guys, David Falla here. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another tutorial. On today's tutorial, we're going to be doing a square layer haircut. And this is a haircut, and this is a type of haircut that you guys have been asking me about for a long time. So I'm super excited to bring this content to you guys. Explaining scissor haircuts is, in my opinion, is a little bit complicated just because it really depends on the knowledge that you have when it comes to scissor work, right? So for a lot of people, this video is going to be super easy. They're going to understand everything. For some people, are going to have a little bit of hard time. That's because maybe they're not too familiar with scissor work. So I'm going to do my best to try to explain it as simple as possible for you guys, and hopefully you guys get you know, like all everything that I'm doing in this video. And if not, don't forget to leave me a comment at this in the comments below. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to part the hair, right? When we section hair, we want to make sure that we're sectioning hair with purpose. We're not just sectioning hair just because it looks cool. A lot of barbers always ask me that, oh, you know, like I want to learn how to section hair. And when I ask them why, they're like, oh, it looks cool. I was like, no, there needs to be a reason for you to section hair. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm sectioning the hair in different parts. So I sectioned the back. So what I did, I looked the tallest part of the head, the highest part of the head, and I create a section from the tallest part of the head all the way to behind the ear, right? And that's gonna section the back. Then now I just section the sides where the parietal ridge is, and I just section the top from there, right? How you can see, I'm also creating these triangles on the side, and the reason for it is because that's when I'm gonna connect to the sides first, and then I'm gonna connect the top, right? So once I have that, and I have, you know, everything parted the way I'm doing it, I'm also going to part the back area where this is the crown. The reason why I'm parting the crown in this case because his crown is a little bit crazy. He has a big cowlick there, so I want to make sure I don't touch that until like I really need it, right? So when I section a haircut, I section it because it makes sense to me. So sections are actually, or the zones that you use them because they make sense to you, right? It's like a map pretty much. So the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to cut the bottom. We're going to start from the back. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take sections. I'm going to take vertical sections, and I'm going to pull those sections straight out of the head. So the best way I can explain to you how to do a square layer haircut is to think of the walls and think of the floor, and then you're gonna pull everything 90 degrees from the wall or 90 degrees from the floor. Everything is gonna be very square. A lot of corners. We're gonna build a lot of that structure, and everything is gonna be achieved by you kind of like elevating everything and pulling everything out of the floor or the walls, right? That's kind of like the basic way to explain it. This is not an easy haircut. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think a long like a long layer haircut, a square haircut, is actually one of the hardest, just because it involves you knowing a lot about scissor work, and also understanding the angles that you're doing, understanding how you pull in your sections, and standing on the right positions. Like how you can see right now, I'm standing right behind the client because I'm pulling everything out. If I start standing on the sides or in a corner or next to the shoulder, things like that, I'm gonna start rounding the haircut. It's not gonna come out the way I want to. So it's very important your position. And how I said, this is a haircut that is a little bit more complicated, a lot more advanced, but I want to make sure that, you know, like I show you guys this content because you guys have been asking me about a lot of scissor work. So that's the reason why I'm putting this video here. Many people are very frustrated because they don't understand scissor work, and I can tell you something, guys. Like I cut for many years, and I had no idea about scissor work, right? And I used to get so frustrated. Like clients will come in and they will ask me for a scissor haircut, and honestly, like nobody else wanted to do at the shop, so I would give it a shot, and I was never happy with them. And it just got to a point that I was like, you know what? Like I need to learn this. Like, can I just continue like messing up people's hair and you know, and like kind of like not being happy with the results? So that's when I started to just studying what I was doing and studying scissor work, and I went back to the basics. Like I think that's one of the most important things. Like people forget that you need to go back to the basics and learn the basics first, and then you can start moving to things that are a little bit more advanced, right? So just learning elevation. What is elevation? What is over direction? What are layers? What is a graduation? Like all that stuff is extremely important for you to understand what you're trying to do. And it's just really really basic stuff that we should all learn in barber school, right? So right here, what I'm doing, how you can see, I let go that section that I had on top, and then all I'm doing, I'm matching that section to the previous that I did on the bottom, and I'm just pulling everything out of the head like 90 degrees from the wall. So how I said, everything's gonna be 90 degrees off the wall or of the floor. So very square haircut, very masculine haircut. And the reason is because when you leave the hair longer on a man, it can look very feminine very quickly, right? If that's exactly what you're trying to go for, awesome. If you're not, if you want to have like a more masculine haircut, like a more masculine shape, then a square layer haircut is going to build those corners, it's going to build that structure, so it's going to make the client look more masculine, and it's just going to look super awesome. Obviously we got to pay attention to the head shape, we got to pay attention to the face, you know, but in most cases a square layer haircut is going to look very masculine and very nice on most men, right? So you can see all I'm doing, I'm pulling all my sections out from the head, very square, how I said, from the wall, and I'm standing on the back because that's exactly in the direction I wanted to stand, right? That's like kind of like the most important thing with the back, is that you're pulling everything out. And obviously as you do this, you can see the sides are going to look longer than right in the middle. Like even when you cut the top, you know, and you create a square shape on the top, the middle, the center is going to be shorter than the corners, because you're over directing those corners to create that line that you're trying to create on top, which is a straight line, right? Kind of the same thing you're doing on the back. So right here what I'm doing is like I'm taking that section from the sides, from the back actually, and I'm matching it to the sides, pulling it 90 degrees, or actually just pulling it out of the 90 degrees from the floor, from the wall. So like that is again super square. So think about like I'm building a box on top of the client's head. That's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm using the hair as like the way I'm building that shape. So my cutting line is gonna be a very square box, because as I said, I want to build corners where the head usually just rounds, right? That's pretty much what I'm trying to do. So that's why everything I'm pulling it out from the floor, from the walls, and just always keep that in mind every time you're trying to cut anything square. So now that I'm done with the sides, what we're going to do is that we're going to start connecting that crown. I'm taking diagonal sections just because I want to make sure that the middle stays longer, and that's because every time you use kind of diagonal sections, and what you're going to be doing is using more like a triangle shape, which means that and one corner is going to be kind of longer and the other corner is going to be shorter. That's what triangles do. So and I want the crown obviously to be heavier for now, just because I want to see, once I cut the top, I'm going to make the decision if I want to round that corner a little bit more or not. I know sometimes like shapes, geometry, all that stuff, it becomes complicated sometimes to understand, especially for somebody that never heard of it. But you know, it goes back to goals, and I think this is a perfect time for you to start thinking about your goals for next year, right? How I said, I made that decision that I wanted to become better at cutting with scissors because I was bad. I was really bad. I had no idea about not even the basics. So I went back to the basics. I started learning as much as I could from everybody on YouTube, everybody on like online courses, everybody on like classes that I would attend, right? I tried to do as much as I could to start understanding that information. It was so frustrating. You guys don't understand. Like I was so frustrated because I didn't understand what was happening. And then now I'm so happy that I can see myself, for example, like doing this video, and I'm so proud of myself because of how much I have learned just from like just really wanting to do something. So pretty much what I wanted to say right now, guys, is that use 2021 as that year when you become better, when where you start doing those things that you've been wanting to do for a while but you haven't done yet for one or whatever reason, right? One of the most important things that I want that have for 2021 is I want to focus on YouTube so much. I want to, you know what, like I always done YouTube as a hobby, as a, you know, like something I do on the side, because, you know, I love to create content and I love to share, right? But I never dedicated myself to fully do YouTube the way I want to, doing the things that I want fully, right? And I want to do that. That's one thing I want to do on YouTube, so I want to focus on that stuff, right? I have other goals that I want to achieve on this year as well, and I know that's going to come from like me making the decision and me working on it, right? Like just how I said, just cutting with scissors, that's exactly what I wanted to do, and I put so much effort, and even though it was so frustrating at the beginning because I didn't have anybody actually to guide me, I learned how to do it. Now I'm so proud now that how far I have come in my understanding of scissor work, that I know that I know more than a lot of the barbers, which is great, right? Because I put in the work to get there. So I'm so excited for that. And that just comes down, guys, that whatever you feel like you can achieve, you can do it, right? And that's why your goals need to be big enough that, you know, you have big goals that you can actually achieve, right? Because you only achieve what you think is achievable, right? At the beginning, all I wanted to do was learn how to cut the top, but on my mind, no, I want to be able to do any scissor haircut, and that's exactly what I did, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. So pretty much on the sides, what I did, I just did a little taper with a 1.5 to a 4. That's all I did. You know what I mean? That's it. I just want to make it a little bit cleaner, but still maintaining that flow on the sides, and still maintaining the longer hair, and that's it. The sides of these, I'm shaping them up because the client didn't want like the natural look. He wanted a little more straight on the sides, like with a shape up. But how you guys saw on the back, on the neck, I use a razor to kind of taper that a little bit and to create like a last softer line, because we want the back to be a lot softer, so it grows softer. But the sides, we wanted to remove a lot of that hair, because how you can see the client has a ton of hair. But you know, I mean, that's just it's a good look. Like it looks so nice. How you can see has so much flow, so much texture to it. Honestly, in this type of haircut, I wouldn't even have to add texture to it, because just the angles that I use is gonna create that structure that is gonna make the hair just look nice with a lot of movement. So when you want to create movement in hair, one thing I learned is that you don't necessarily need to texture the hair and remove or thin it out or anything like that. You can actually create that texture by the angles in which you pull the hair. Those angles are going to dictate the movement and how soft the hair falls when you style this. So that's another thing I learned, and it's just incredible to be able to do that now with scissors, when all I did was use clippers back in the day. You know what I mean? Like it's literally just incredible. You can see, look, I'm just putting product, and even before that, the haircut already had product. I mean, I put a little bit of product in his ear, but you know what I mean? Like already look nice without any product. That's what is amazing. And that's it, guys. That's the final result. How you can see, it looks amazing in my opinion. I'm so proud of myself for being able to do this haircut, because it took me forever to be able to do it, and I'm super happy to be able to share this content with you guys. So pretty much let me know what you think in the description, what you like about the haircut, and if you have any questions. I know it's a lot of information, so let me know so I can help you guys. And that's it, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.